Well, welcome to Found in Focus. This week I had the privilege of talking to Mark Clark. He's a pastor at Bayside Church in California. He's actually Canadian and kind of grew up in my neighborhood. And Mark shares his story first and foremost. He's faced some tough things as a kid, and it led into some, challenges in his life that he shares honestly. But then he talks about his recent book that he's written called The Problem of Life. And it really is about discovering your identity, purpose, and joy in this disenchanted world. Well, can we not all relate with this search and seeking for identity, purpose, and joy? We go after the things that bring us joy. We're searching for happiness. We're searching for meaning because we live in a broken world, a world where you can live as a victim of this broken world, or as Mark says, you can live as a victor. And you have the cultural question so often is, how do I find myself? Mark addressed that question, that you can't find yourself by looking inside yourself. You need to find yourself by actually finding the one who created you. You can't have a conversation about identity that doesn't include the one who created us, God himself. And so many of us find, whether it's a philosophy journey, we're looking in all the wrong places. It's not that those things aren't good. It's just that without God, without the context of creator, we're not able to find ourselves. And it reminded me again, it took us back to Genesis, where Mark and I talk about the creation story. And this is just a reminder of what God's word says of who we actually are and we're created to be. Listen to Genesis 1. Then God said, "Let us make human beings in our image." Now that word image is reflection, likeness, representative. To be like ourselves, it says. They will reign. They will reign. They will have authority over the fish in the sea, birds in the sky, livestock, all the wild animals on the earth, and the small animals that scurry along the ground. So God created human beings in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Mark talks about the gender conversations that we have, that we can be defined by some of these factors in our life. But he says we got to come back to who God says we are as his image bearers. And our purpose in this world is actually to enjoy our relationship with him and to live in relationship with God. It's a really rich conversation. I encourage you to check it out on the Found podcast with Mark Clark. Go get his book, The Problem of Life. It is a great read. It's rich and insightful, but it's actually practical, and you're going to love the stories. Well, thanks for joining me on Found in Focus. I'll see you on the Found podcast.